my friends. Okay, for today's video I am going to be doing my second story time, which is also ironic now that I think about it because it also has to do with my car. If you have not seen my first story time video, I will have it linked up here for you and also down in the DB below. I've been wanting to do another story time again because I realized that the first one did get quite the amount of attention. But I feel like not a lot happens in my life like that's worth making a video out of. And then this thing happened that I will be talking about in today's video, and this happened not too long ago, and I was like, you know what, let's make a story time out of this. For any new viewers who may be watching this video, hi, my name is Jovie, and for any returning viewers, welcome back. Without further ado, let's just move on with the video. So to start off, this happened a few months ago. This happened early March. Exact. This happened early March, and we were at school. My roommate and I were at school. We were packing up, getting ready for spring break, because at our school, our spring break occurs like the first week of March. So we were packing up our stuff from school, getting ready to go back home and get ready for spring break because we were flying out. And if you haven't seen my spring break vlog, I will also have that linked up here and down below. Yeah, we were packing up, getting ready to go, and that day it was starting to snow. I remember I was talking to my parents because I always let them know when I'm going to be heading back home on the day of from school. I let them know that I was going to come that day, and they were letting me know that like it was snowing, so to be careful on the road. And I said okay. I've driven in the snow before, not through a blizzard, but I've driven in the snow before. I've driven through like the beginning of when it snow, like when it starts to snow. I've driven when it starts to snow, and I've driven after it's already snowed and the roads have been cleaned off, but I've never driven like during the whole mishap. So just keep that in mind. We're packing up, putting everything in my car, on our way driving, and we went to school out of state. So we're leaving the state. We went to school in Pennsylvania, and we're driving back to Jersey. At first the drive is fine. We stopped to get gas. It's the first thing that we stopped to get. We get gas before we really start our road trip. Got the gas, on our way to Jersey, and so far so good. At some point, because Pennsylvania is so big, and we went to school in like central PA, so most of the drive to get home is Pennsylvania, like leaving Pennsylvania, because once I get to Jersey, that's like the last hour of the drive. We're in some part of Pennsylvania, I don't know which part of Pennsylvania we're in, and that's when we basically are in the storm. Because when we were at school and we were leaving school to get home, it was hardly snowing. There really wasn't much. It didn't look that bad, so I didn't think much of it. But as we're on our way to Jersey, we're getting, you know, closer to our destination, and we're driving more, I guess, into Pennsylvania, but we're leaving Pennsylvania, if that makes sense, because we're coming from like the center of PA. We're led right into the storm, like pretty much the heart of the storm, if you will. So it's really, really bad where we are, and at this point, you know, I have my GPS, I got Siri telling me what to do, where to go, the fastest route, all that kind of stuff, and it's just getting really, really bad. And the route that Siri was leading us was like the back roads, because it was the fastest route. So I remember I'm turning up on a street, and I'm going up a hill onto the street. It's like a neighborhood. I'm going up the street, and there's so much snow on the floor, like outside, of course, not in the car. And at a certain point, I wasn't able, like my car wasn't able to go up anymore. Like I wasn't able to go up and go about my business as far as the route. I'm driving up the hill, and the wheels are kind of skidding with the snow, and I can't get up anymore. So at that point, we're trying to figure out what to do. So we put the car in park and we're trying to like outside try to shovel out some of the snow that's like blocking up the passage of me being able to drive further up the hill. Because at that point, I see like there are trucks and stuff trying to clean the pathway for cars that are trying to get about their destinations, but the snow is hitting so hard and we're right in the middle of the storm that snow is patching up onto the ground very fast, and it's preventing me from getting home. So we're trying to do this, it's not working. I call my dad and ask him what I should do, and basically we end up having to turn back around. So we try to turn back around down the hill. While that whole thing was going on, there were cars that were coming like around me, coming from behind me, and they were able to come up too. And it wasn't just like SUVs and trucks, it was like cars as small as my car. I have a small car. So I'm like, okay, for some reason my car's the only car that can't go up the hill. Every other car seems to be able to have no problem going up the hill, but whatever. We're just gonna turn around and Siri's gonna have to reroute us. We turn around, go about our business, and at some point right before we're about to go back onto the highway to continue our journey to go home, my dad advised me to get more gas just in case. It's a good thing I listened to him, and I didn't put diesel in my car this time. Just watch the first story time if you have no idea that reference. I go to the gas station, get more gas in my car, full tank back on, and we're driving out. We stopped to get something to eat because we were on the road for a while. We were getting hungry. We used the bathroom, so that was good. We go onto the highway, and let me tell you, going on the highway was scary. At first it's okay driving on the highway. There's not too many cars at that point. Like, we're all spaced out enough, and thank God we were, because at some point on the highway I was skidding. The wind was harsh, it was snowing a lot, the floor was slippery, and I do not have snow tires. So add those together and what do you get? Not a good situation. Luckily there's not a car beside me. I was in the fastest lane, which is the lane closest to the divider, and the divider wasn't like just a regular dash line or anything. It was like a whole like actual kind of barricade looking thing. If you're a driver, you kind of know what I'm talking about, but I don't know how else to explain it. It was just like that like thin cement wall that it wasn't like all the way on top, but it was like a thin cement wall that was separating this flow of traffic going this way and the other side of traffic going that way. So I was right next to that divider is what I'm saying, and there's only two lanes on my side, the fast lane and the slow lane, and I'm in the fast lane next to the divider. So I'm driving and the wind is harsh, it's snowing really hard, and I almost bumped into the divider. I almost crashed into it. 1, 2, because like the car's out of control. So I'm like swerving, skidding, and I'm freaking out. My roommate's freaking out, and she's like, "Control the car, blah, blah." And I'm looking at her like,
"What do you think I'm trying to do? You think I'm purposely doing this?"
I almost crashed into the divider. I'm trying to prevent that from happening. I'm trying to control the car with the steering wheel. I'm trying to gain as much control as I can. Going against Mother Nature at this point. And there's a really good thing that there was not a car beside me, because I literally swerved into the other lane, the slow lane. If there was a car next to me, there was nothing I could do. I would have absolutely crashed into that car. I was very grateful that there was not a car next to me. There was only cars behind me, but by a distance. So that's basically what happened. But not too long after that happened on the highway, Siri guided us to get off the highway. We got off like the next exit or two, and we were back in the back roads to get home. And when I tell you we were at the sketchiest part of Pennsylvania, the sketchiest, most neighborhood part you could be at, and it's nighttime at this point. There's no sun up. Keep in mind that it's early March, so it's still winter, time. So it gets dark pretty fast. I don't know around what time it was, but it was really dark, and there were street lights like it was spread out really well. The street lights were spread out, the houses that were there in this neighborhood were spread out. Very sketchy. We weren't the only ones driving that way home. There were other cars behind me and other cars in front of me, so that was a plus at least. At some point of this back road we were taking, we had to, there was a slight swerve on the street. So at first we were like going straight, and then there's a slight swerve to continue. So there's a car in front of me, cars behind me. I'm following, you know, the car in front of me because we're all going the same way. And that car swerves, goes about its business, continues the route. And then my car swerves and I go straight into a ditch. The cars behind me go around me and swerve and get to continue the route too, while we're still in the ditch. Everyone else was fine. And like I've said earlier, these are cars that they range from different sizes, as small as my car to SUVs and pickup trucks. Fine, but for whatever reason, my car got stuck in the ditch. My side of the car, because I'm the driver, my side is literally in the ditch, like tilted in. And then my roommate's side, she's in the passenger seat, her side of the car is still kind of like on the road. So it's like the car's tilted at this point. And I have some pictures that I took. I'll put them up throughout the video. So yeah, evidence, if you will. Definitely not making any of this up. But yeah, so that happens, and we're stuck in this ditch, and I'm freaking out, she's freaking out, wondering what's happening. Of course, the first thing you do when you're stuck in a ditch is you're gonna try to move and try to get out of it. So once there's no cars there anymore, everyone else passed by us just fine. I'm trying to, you know, turn the wheel and drive back up, and it's not working. At that point, we realized that we're really stuck. So I'm calling my dad, she's calling her parents, let them know the situation. I'm getting out of the car, and where I am, I actually need to get out from my roommate's side. On my side, I can't get out for some reason. I think it was because I would have hit this like big rock or something. So I had to like climb up on her side and get out to see what was going on. At some point, this like little family was nice enough to stop and try to help us out. And they were people that were not from Pennsylvania. They were just there for like, I guess, the weekend, just vacationing or something like that. And they're trying to help us get us out of the ditch. And they actually got us deeper in the ditch somehow. They were really nice, and they really did try to help us. And then eventually they were like, okay, well, we're gonna try to go to the store and get some wood and try to get you out. I don't remember exactly what the wood was supposed to do to try to help get us out, but they were trying to get some sort of wood and get us out. And they drove off. They never came back. They never came back. I don't really blame them, because at the end of the day, it was nighttime, sketchy place where I got stuck in a ditch, and we don't know each other. You know, that's just the gist of it. And the snowstorm wasn't lightening up at all at that point. It was just getting worse. So maybe they couldn't find their way back. I don't know, but I don't blame them. But yeah, they never came. A lot more cars passed by us and drove fine while we're stuck in this ditch still. We call the tow trucks so many times, and they're like, you know what, everyone's calling us saying that they're stuck, and we're trying to get to everyone as soon as possible. The storm is really bad. Your wait time is like an hour and change. Called the police a few times about it. They were saying the same thing. Everyone's calling the cops. They're stuck somewhere too. So we're just sitting there just waiting. My dad's like, you know what, I'm gonna drive and try to get to you. So I like dropped my location to him, and he's trying to drive from Jersey to me. He's saying how clean it is in Jersey. No problem getting on the highway, no problem driving. And I was like, okay. We're waiting for my dad to get to me, and we're just sitting there waiting and 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 waiting. The tow truck finally comes. No, did the tow truck come? No, a police officer comes finally, and I don't think it was a tow truck, but it was just a random nice guy that had like a pickup truck or something, and he had a rope that was able to pull us out, and he offered, and I was like, yes, please. And he pulled us out. I'm following the cop car back onto the highway. We're finally continuing our route. At this point, I call my dad and I tell him, you can just go back, I guess, at that point, because we finally got out of the ditch and we're just out of that sketchy neighborhood, and we're on our way back home. So we're doing fine. We're on the highway. Everything's good until we get into traffic. We're stuck in traffic for hours. I'm telling you, we were stuck in traffic for like at least 3 hours, and we hardly moved. I moved up a little. I forgot where we left off because I thought I had filmed the end to this story time, and I didn't. We finally found a way back. Where we ended up getting off the exit to a town that had no electricity. So gas was not an option, but luckily for me, I listened to my dad and I had gotten gas ahead of time, so I was good on gas to get home. We ended up going through, we stopped to use the bathroom once more at this hotel on our way, and we were finding a way from this app called Waze. My dad was trying to guide me through that app to get me home, and we went through this other back road. At this point it was like 5 or 6 or 7 in the morning, and sun's up. Didn't sleep that night, and we were in another line of traffic because there was a whole sheet of snow, and the workers were trying to like break it down so that we were able to drive through, because everyone was trying to take that way to go home or wherever they were trying to go. I was trying to go home, is all I know. That was taking a long time. We were all getting frustrated. I just wanted to go home, and we agreed that I should just turn around. So I turned around like a whole bunch of other cars ended up doing, because they didn't want to wait in line either anymore. It was taking a while. It was a lot of snow and it was thick, and at this point it was still snowing. So I turned around and I finally find a way back home, and once I confirmed to my dad that I found a way back home, he hung up with me. He was on the phone with me the whole night trying to get me through it. He was so sweet. He did not go to sleep at all. He stayed up on the phone making sure that I found a way back home safe, and he didn't hang up until I confirmed to him that I was on my way back home and I had no problems, nothing stopping me, no traffic, no accident, no sheet of snow, nothing. I was on my way back home and I was gonna be there in like a couple hours or so. Once I finally saw that billboard, you know, that big sign when you're on the highway and you're entering another state, and it says welcome to the name of that state. When it said welcome to New Jersey, I was so happy. I was like, we finally left Pennsylvania. Yeah, but not too long after that sign that I left confirming to me that I had entered New Jersey, I was getting delusional. I was driving in the car at this point because I had no sleep, didn't have a full meal, tired, just wanted to go home, should have been home hours ago, and I'm just delusional because I was the only one who drove the whole time. Over 10 hours I was behind the wheel. We never stopped. We were just trying to find a new way back home. If one way didn't work, we were trying to find another way. If that way didn't work, we were trying to find another way. We were always on the move. So I'm just delusional, like starting to fall asleep, like starting to see things. I'm going towards the rest area, like the rest stop on the highway, and the divider that like when your tires hit it, it like wakes it up, it rubs against it and makes this loud noise, and you can feel it on the car. It doesn't affect your tires, it's just to wake you up if you were to fall asleep or anything like that, like me, like I was falling asleep. So it woke me up and it woke my roommate up, because at that point she fell back asleep. But we finally made it back home. I dropped her off at her house. She thanked me, she paid for gas. She gave me props for being behind the wheel the whole time, trying to get us home, and I appreciated that because I deserve those props. And I finally drove myself home and took a shower, and I went straight to sleep. And that is the story of the time I got stuck in a ditch. Hopefully for the third story time it has nothing to do with my car. Hopefully. And it's always nice to know when you're making these kind of story times that you're not alone, you know. If you ever got stuck in a ditch and you'd like to tell me your story and how you got out, then let me know definitely in the comments down below. I would love to hear that. If you know anybody who got stuck in a ditch, give this a thumbs up. If you're new and you like what you see and you would like to see more from me, please do not be afraid to click that subscribe button down below. I love making new friends. And I will see you guys in the next video.